Fear has been the number one reason as to why I am not where I want to be in life. How about you? So as I've been delving deeper into essentially my mind and concepts of manifestation, perspective, projected reality, and what our reality is, it has just become painfully obvious how how fear essentially has been intertwined into my subconscious and has basically dictated every move that I've ever made in my life since it attached itself to me as a kid. In one of my previous videos, and probably in many videos to come, I spoke about, my upbringing. My upbringing basically being within the hood environment. The hood environment, as we all know, is, I don't care how you paint it, it's a terrible place. It is basically full of people who are in poverty, people who are poor. And that is from a financial standpoint, that is from an emotional standpoint, and from a psychological standpoint. It is a terrible place. It basically just ruins lives. It is the literal sunken place. Yes, you can have good things that can happen there, right? You can have happy moments. You can have fun with friends and so on and so forth. But when you take a step back and really look at it, it's not a good place. So I basically grew up in an environment that had a lot of drug dealing, had a lot of fighting, had a lot of shooting, had a lot of crime, hatred, disrespect, and just all around misery. So being exposed to that at a young age, it put fear in me, fear of my environment, fear of death, fear of dying when I went outside, fear of being severely injured, fear of being jumped, fear of being attacked, just fear. And without the proper guidance, because it was, just my mom and my siblings. And that's not to say that, I'm not saying she didn't do anything on purpose or she didn't do the best that she could with what we had and the environment that we were in. But unfortunately, that's the environment that we found ourselves in. And she can only do so much, and she only has so much knowledge and information. And if she's working all the time trying to provide and put food on the table, it doesn't really leave too much room to kind of figure things out and lift your head up out of the perpetual cycle that we're in to realize what's going on. That essentially we have full control of our reality. So without a consistent or positive father figure, my dad was not in my life growing up. I did not have anyone there to guide me as to where I should go or how I should interpret things. So me just not wanting to, I for whatever reason, I naturally rejected my environment. I wanted no parts of it. I did not want to be in the streets. I did not want to be a thug, a gangbanger, like whatever you call it. I just was always been able to easily identify this negative aspect of life that I wanted no parts of, but yet I had to live around and within. So where my father could have come in, or someone who was a positive role model could have come in, they could have basically helped to steer me in the right direction. So I was on the right track, right? I knew that I needed to stay out of trouble. I knew that I needed to, not get into certain things and not be around certain people if I could help it and if it was my choice. And I had dreams. I wanted to work within the film industry as far as creation. And that could have been acting. It could have been, a camera operator. It could have been a director, a producer. As far as I was concerned, the sky was the limit. So although my environment, which, I am American Black, and I've always been around Black people, as far as I'm concerned, my enemy is more than just skin color. But the people that were telling me that I couldn't be successful in life and that I couldn't achieve things were other Black people who looked just like me, not white people. I have always internally known that this idea of Black versus white and racism is stupid. I've always known that, again, for whatever reason. I had some of the warnings, from my mom that would say, be careful because of your skin color, there's a chance you'll be treated differently. There's a chance that, someone won't like you because, and I think we do need to we need to be aware of that. But she never inundated me with how much I should hate white people, that I should hate white people in general, that I should hate white people, that I shouldn't try, that I shouldn't do this, that I shouldn't do that. But there were talks, about how I could do it, but I would have to work 10 times harder at doing it because I'm black. And typically we're not in control. White people are in control and they control this game that we play. So you're going to have to work 10 times harder. And that's fine. I took that in. With that being said, again, it never felt as if I could not achieve what I set out to achieve. And I strive for it. And there were times when I was really on. I was dedicated. I was motivated. I was focused. And not once did a white person ever enter my life, whether he was wearing a 3-piece suit and he had horns, or whether it was some top, shadow realm executive that said, hey, little black boy, little, black teenager, black man, stop attempting what you're doing because you're never going to get there. That never happened. It was always the projected fears and insecurities of the people around me that were black that limited my beliefs and my abilities, unfortunately. And that's not to pass blame on them, but that's to bring attention to a fact, which is we are more prone to listen to individuals that are supposed to love us than anyone else. So if you have your parents or a sibling or friends or the so-called elders of our community that are basically projecting their fears and their ignorance on us because they came from a different time period, right? And I understand that. They had to go through a lot of things that basically shaped their minds into what they are. But we are very far removed from what they went through. Nothing's perfect, but we are not going through the same exact things physically that they had to go through. But we are going through them psychologically because they planted those seeds into our minds. When you plant the seed of fear or negativity or insecurity or uncertainty or poverty into a young mind, it is going to grow and flourish in their subconscious to then cause them to project that out into their world. And what you give the world will give you back. It's like the saying says, if you believe you can or you believe you can't, either way, you are right. So if you believe what we have been taught, which is the world is racist, the world hates us, we got to work 10 times harder at everything, nobody accepts us, we're beneath everyone. If you fundamentally believe that in your heart and soul, and it works its way into your subconscious, and this is the key that I've come to learn. It's not just the fact that it's in your subconscious. It's the fact that when something is in your subconscious and you attach a very visceral and strong feeling to it, it becomes very dangerous and very powerful, and it's able to project things into your reality. So, for instance, love is a feeling. We all want love. So if I have a loved one, like an aunt or an uncle or my mom or my dad, who are supposed to love me, and I understand that they love me, and they're also telling me these very negative things about life, again, about, how much I'm hated, how much I'm not loved, how much the world rejects me, and I attach that emotional response to that, you have now planted a poisonous seed that is going to dictate how I move and navigate in life. So I've always believed that I could achieve anything that I ever wanted to. Literally, the reason that I have not is because I never broke the chains of fear. Although I had enough wherewithal to know that what a lot of people were telling me and putting on me was their experiences projecting out into their world, I understood that it was the fact that I felt so tied to them through love. And this is what it comes down to when it comes to a community or a cult, as I should say. When it's attached to love, it's hard for me to basically put myself above that. How can I put myself above a person that I love? As in, okay, I hear what you're saying and I get what you're saying, But that reality that you live in is not the reality I live in. I don't believe the world hates me. So therefore, I'm going to move accordingly, knowing that the world doesn't hate me and that the world is going to give me everything that I want through energy, through frequency, whatever it may be. I understand that. But what hindered my ability and my beliefs was the fact that I had loved ones making me feel guilty for wanting to surpass where our family has always been. And with that does come guilt. How can I possibly get abundance or achieve these great things when the people that I love and care about are not? When you realize how old your aunt or uncle is as you get older, like I'm nearly 40, and my aunts and uncles that are still living, they're in their 70s, they're in their 70s. And I look at their lives and like, man, you didn't really accomplish your full potential because of these beliefs that you believe, these limiting beliefs that you have, that the white man is out to get you, that white people are out to get you, and this boogeyman, this ghost. And that's exactly what it is. There is someone who has designed this game, that has rigged this game of life against us, but it is so much more deeper than how we want to simply make it black versus white, right? It's spiritual. Stop assigning these dumb ideas to something that is spiritual. If you ask somebody in their last 5 years, how has racism hindered you from being, from being the person that you were meant to be, but how has racism hindered you from achieving everything you possibly have wanted to achieve to where you can have whatever you want? Poverty is not an issue. Money is not an issue. A career is not an issue. Love is not an issue. How has racism affected that for you personally? And typically that person cannot give you a personal response because we have been programmed by the collective mind, which we call the black community. And it's not everyone, but it's a specific group. And typically it's the niggas of the black community. A nigga is nothing more than a corrupted mind. It's a corrupted mind inside of a body. So when they give you this answer, they can't give you a personal individual answer. They give you what the collective says, which is, well, police brutality. Well, racism. Well, the white man. Well, yesterday in traffic, when, this white person cut me off, it had to be because of racism. Everything has to be because of racism. It can't be any other reason as to why you're not succeeding in life. And it also definitely can't be you as the individual. That's what a lot of us don't like. And that's what we have been taught. We have been taught basically to use crutches, victimhood, and vices to navigate our way through life. And when life comes at us, or when life just simply presents itself as life, we get scared. And we don't know how to handle it because we haven't been prepared to stand on our own 2 feet as an individual to take on life. And life isn't an inherently bad thing. It's just life. It's just coming at you, asking you, hey, are you prepared for this? Hey, you want a better life. And if I give it to you, are you going to take it or are you going to throw it away? And a lot of us end up throwing it away because of what we have been taught. Now, if you want to have this whole argument about, slavery because of how long slavery went on for and, Jim Crow and all these things. Yes, you have ripple effects from traumatic situations. Yes, you do. But at what point do we take control of the narrative? So me personally, I just want to denounce all of the nonsense that I was exposed to and that I was taught. And I had this fear because, there is this acceptance and this want that we all have. We want to be accepted by people. This idea of being black in America, I detest it. I have always rejected it, but I have been too afraid to publicly proclaim it because of fear, again, of the repercussions, fear of being kicked out. Fear of being rejected, fear of being hurt, fear of being killed. But I am sacrificing my life, and I have been sacrificing my life. And now that I have children and a wife, I am collectively sacrificing our lives for such a stupid idea such as, because I'm black, I can't have success, I can't have wealth, I can't have abundance. Because if I do, then it means that I don't care about the other black people who don't. That is such a limiting belief that I no longer want to have, and I want to shed it. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. Our lives are in our own hands. Life is not perfect. Yes, racism is a real thing, but what's also real, just as much as racism, is the fact that you have a choice not to let it affect you. If someone is being racist towards you, fuck them. Fuck them, fuck them, fuck the establishment. If they're being racist, move on. Go to someone else, deal with different people. But sitting at home in this funk about how we can't get ahead in life and we can't do that. The biggest trick is the fact that we literally have the power within us to get whatever we want out of this life. We have it. We have always had it. And the trick is to make us believe that we don't. And we believe that we don't because our subconscious minds have been hijacked. Our subconscious minds are corrupted. And I can speak to this personally. My subconscious mind has been corrupted by fear. Every step that I have made and decision that I have made, I have been in constant duality. My brain is telling me I can achieve this. I can do this. I can make this happen. I'm doing all these good things and I should be getting this good karma that's coming back to me. When come to find out, the world itself, the universe, how it works, doesn't really care about good or bad. It just cares about frequency. It just cares about energy and what you're bringing to the table. And if you're always bringing to the table fear, misery, anger, frustration, desperation, a poverty mindset, being poor, then that's exactly what the universe is going to give you. It's a mirror. You're projecting onto the world what you currently have in your subconscious mind. So the world is just simply giving it to you. And we don't understand that. And it's not white people that are keeping us from understanding that. Again, this is a spiritual battle. It's the powers that be that understand how this stuff works, that are planting these seeds and putting these things in motion. Our responsibility is to wake up and realize what is happening and make better decisions. So I am done with this idea of black and black power and black, like, if that's what you believe in, you go right ahead and you believe in that. I don't think that makes you a terrible person. I don't think it makes you a bad person. But in my experience, for people from the other side that believes in that stuff, they believe that it makes me a bad person because I don't want anything to do with it. I'm not saying that I hate myself. I'm not saying that I hate my skin. I love myself. I love my brown skin. But my brown skin and my love of myself does not mean that I have to basically suppress or oppress another group of people that don't look like me to make myself feel better. I can feel good on my own with God. So fear, man, fear, it has, I don't want to say it's ruined my life, but because it's not over, because I'm on the cusp of something here. I'm so close to a breakthrough and getting this thing corrected, but it does ruin lives. And if you do not wake up and figure this out and start to do things differently and think differently and stop listening to everyone and pay attention to how their lives are and stop listening to miserable people who can't overcome their situation or their minds, you are doomed to have this stark reality for the rest of your life. And that's not going to be me. It's not going to be my family. It's not going to be my kids. Fear. It's deep, man. So let me know in the comments. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Can you tell if fear has also had a hold on your life, or has fear dictated things for you? Or was there a time when you were able to break out of that fear and maybe you're in a better place now? I would love to hear from you. But yeah, so my name is Yuna. Thank you for listening. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon.